All right. Check. See how I look on my end. Okay. Um. All right. I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone have taught us this truth that's constantly ruling well through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. Shalom to the Bakarium, to the elect brethren that's constantly pushed this word in truth and sincerity. That's not wavering to the left nor to the right, but constantly stand on that straight and narrow fight for your crowns. Shalom to the the few aquafs and I wanted to do this lesson yesterday, but the spirit got me doing it today, fresh off work. But as you can see in the title, forgive me of the lighting. It's just the camera. The camera's not a good phone to do this on, but nevertheless, I wanted to do it this way because of how I'm gonna do this video. But so as you can see the title is Land Backing Alexander the Great Edom, okay? And this is been out there because of one body in Yahweh Shai been going off in their teachings, um speaking about Alexander, Herod. They're not Edomites, okay? They're wicked Israelites, okay? Which, my personal opinion, it sounds like they're trying to give a free pass to Esau, okay? From the doctrine that they're spewing, you know. But um, nevertheless, what inspired me to do this lesson, okay, was the Elder Barak's video, all right, which is called Alexander the Great Edom, okay, which, you should subscribe to his channel, GMS Barak Allah 12, and be constantly edified, okay. Now, before I start, I want to start with a couple of scriptures um, that was on my mind, okay, that I was thinking about. And let's go to First Timothy's 1:11. It says First Timothy's 1:11. It says, according to the glorious gospel of the blessed power, which was committed to my trust, it says, and I thank Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, our Lord, who have enabled me for that he counted me faithful, putting me into the ministry. Okay. Now, not everybody is going to rightfully divide the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai in truth and sincerity. Okay. A part of the balance is you're going to have false prophets. A part of the balance is that you're going to have the righteous prophets that are going to speak according to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai's heart. Okay. Now, I'm thankful, and I know that we're thankful that we are under the tutelage of our apostles and elders of Great Millstone that have been drilling us, speaking first and foremost with the elders, okay, those that came in before us, unto us younger brothers, okay, because I myself, I am a younger brother. But I'm thankful that the Lord drilled at the spirit of the apostle to drill into the elders to go into studying and going into the history, okay, so that way we can have the correct understanding, okay. So let me read that again. It says, and I thank Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, Lord, who have enabled me, okay, for that he counted me faithful, putting me into the ministry, okay. The Lord has enabled us to be under the right teachings or under the right banner, okay. He has enabled us, and now all souls are enabled, okay, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai to have been properly learnt, okay. Which, let me go to my next scripture real fast in Thessalonians. What is it? First Thessalonians 2:4. Okay. This is First Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 4. It says, but as we were allowed of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to be put in trust with the gospel. Even so we speak, not as pleasing men, but the Most High who triumph our hearts. Okay. See, we were allowed, okay, to teach this word, all right, rightfully dividing this word in truth and sincerity. And I'm thankful that the Lord has brought me unto the right pastures, okay, the real shepherds of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Okay, and I wanted to say that first and foremost, okay, because as you see that the Lord is um clearly making it evident the separation of you know, who the Lord is really dealing with, especially in the times that we living in the last days. And you could be, under the tutelage of the dagger men. Okay, you could be under the tutelage of, praising most high Christ bless. Okay, I don't have to name the names, you know who they are. Okay, speaking things that are not concerning the truth's sake or doctrine's sake. Okay. So just something to be really, thankful about. Now, I don't want to make this too long, but just wanted to land back on what the brother was saying, because as the brother looked up as a simple
See, many false prophets shall arise.
Salakia, as a brother looked up as a simple Google search, right? As a simple Google search, you was able to find out, all right, the lineage of Alexander, okay, and see, you know, with our older brothers, man, they drilled into us too to get into studying, going into the secular history, so that way we can have a proper understanding, okay. And a part of this history right here was, brothers was drilling to us going into Daniel's the 11th chapter, okay, which that was a major thing for us, all right, because we had to individually study and go into that, okay, and um, we had to, as the scriptures say, search and find, all right, we had to be like the Church of Berea, all right, we had to sit down and apply ourselves, okay, to get the understanding, all right, and that's how we're able to go into these scriptures and be able to break them down the proper way, so let's go into this.
And being deceived. Right? It says, in the third year of the reign of King Belshazzar, a vision appeared unto me, even unto me Daniel, after that which appeared unto me at first. And I saw in the vision, and it came to pass when I saw that it was at Shuzan in the palace, which is in the province of Elam. And I saw in the vision, and I was by the river of Ulai. Then I lifted up my eyes and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram which had two horns. And the two horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last. So there's this sorry, this empire right here, dealing with the Media Persian Empire. Right here, that's that ram. Okay? It says the Media Persian Empire, of which a ram was the ensign, the ram's head was the horns, and the higher and the other is still to be seen in the ruins of Persepolis. Pretty much the Persians are the one, it says, but one was higher than the other. It was the Persians, and the higher came up last. Okay? They were the stronger nation that took control of this empire.
Right. Now, let me get over here in the blue letter, okay? Because who started which was Cyrus, okay? Um, Cyrus the Great, all right? Leave this over here. Yep. Go over here real fast, and then I'm gonna play some more so you can hear.
Pretty much the Media Persian Empire. Okay? It says, verse 4, I saw the ram pushing westward, and northward and southward, so that no beast might stand before him. Neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand.
Right. Now, this was dealing with Cyrus the Great, okay? Because you had Cyrus the Great, um, who pretty much, when you look into that history, established the Archimedean, I believe, empire, if that's how you say it, the Archimedean empire, okay? Which the Lord set Cyrus up, okay? Isaiah chapter 45, verse 1, thus saith the Lord to his anointed, to Cyrus, okay? Let's see, when you look up the word Cyrus, let's see right here, Cyrus, let's see what we get. Um, right here, yep, Cyrus, okay, the king of Persia and conqueror of Babylon, first ruler of Persians, to make a decree allowing the Israelite exile to return to Jerusalem, all right, which, you know, dealing with Cyrus the Great, okay. Um, the Lord set Cyrus the Great up, right? Thus said the Lord to his anointed, to Cyrus, whose right hand I have holden to subdue nations before him, and I will loose the loins of kings to open before him the two left gates, and the gates shall not be shut. Okay, and you had his empire when you go down unto, let's get it real fast. Okay, Daniel's the uh the 11th chapter. You had three kings. Daniel's the 11th chapter. You had three kings, okay, and who are these? Who are these kings? You had Cambius, you had Darius the first, okay, and you had Smerdis, all right, pseudo Smerdis, okay, which you read it right here, Daniel chapter 11 verse 1. It says, also in the first year of Darius the Medes, even I stood to confirm and to strengthen him, and now I will show thee the truth. Behold, there shall stand up yet three kings in Persia. Okay, those three kings was Cambius, Darius the first, pseudo Smerdis. Okay, and the fourth shall be far richer than they all. All right, the fourth, which was far richer than they all, was Xerxes. Okay, Xerxes was the one that was far richer than them all. Okay, and this is actual history that you could look into. You know, and by his strength through his riches he shall stir up all against the realm of Grecia. Okay, right. And a mighty king shall stand up that shall rule with great dominion and do according to his will. Okay, now that king that shall stand up and shall do according to his will is speaking on Alexander the Great. Okay, which brothers call him Alexander the Greek. You know, because he didn't have no children. He was a homosexual. Okay, you know, but he was a swift ruler. Okay, that's why his signet was the leopard, and that's what he wore into battle. Okay, Daniel's, I believe, what is that? Daniel, the 7th chapter, Daniel chapter 7. Let me see, Daniel chapter 7 verse 6. All right. This is Daniel chapter 7, verse 6. It says, after this I behold, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it four wings of a fowl. The beast had also four heads, and dominion was given to it. Okay. And these wings, because he didn't have no children, okay, he didn't have no offspring, all right, he parted his empire after he conquered, okay, to his four generals. You had Lysimachus, you had Cassander, you had Ptolemy, and you had Seleucus. Okay. So before I keep continuing on, because I want to make a certain point that the brother was going to make. Let's listen in on some more.
But he did according to his will and became great. So after the Persian and Medes took down the Babylonians, which was like an overnight victory from Belshazzar, and the Most High tackled him. You see, they expanded their empire.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it means by the ram pushing westward, northward, southward. They expanded their empire. That's what it's talking about. Verse 5, and I was considered, behold, an he goat came from the west, from the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground, and the goat had a notable horn between his eyes.
Right, which that notable horn, we're dealing with Alexander the Great. Okay, now it's good to get a study Bible, right? It's good to get a study Bible. I want to show this kind of let's see, let me see if I can see it in my pause. Make it live. All right, it's good to get a study Bible because see if you can see it right here. As you can see, this is between the testaments. Okay, but my fingers is not overly right here between the testaments. Okay, it's between the testaments, and you have what the brother was going into, which is down here. Alexander, Alexander the Great. Persia never succeeded in subduing the Greeks, but an heir of Greek culture, Alexander of Macedonian, eventually brought to an end the Persian Empire. Alexander was not simply a power mad despot, a pupil of the philosopher Aristo. He was thoroughly convinced that Greek culture was the one force that could unify the world. In 33 BC, he passed from Macedonia into Asia Minor and defeated the Persian armies stationed there. Then he moved southward through Syria and Palestine to Egypt, Tyre, and Gaza. Each offered stubborn resistance, but delay did not discourage Alexander. They simply strengthened his determination to win. There was no need for a campaign against the Jews, and legend makes Alexander a friend of the Jews. His people, uh, Jadua, the high priest, is said to have come out to meet Alexander, telling him of Daniel's prophecy. Okay, and this is why Daniel was I'm sorry, this is why Alexander was friends of the Israelites. Okay, because it was a Levite that actually spoke to Alexander, letting him know that he was going to fulfill prophecy by being able to conquer and take over. All right, which it gives the scripture right here in Daniel's the 8th chapter. Okay, that he was going to be that swift leopard that was going to take down the Persians. All right, and he was going to conquer. Okay, um, which the Lord was with him. It says, although historians do not take the story seriously, it does illustrate the friendly feeling between the Jews and the Macedonians conquered. Alexander permitted the Jews to observe their laws, granted them exemption from tribute during Sabbath, sabbatical years. And when he built Alexandria in Egypt, 33 BC, he encouraged the Jews to settle there and gave them privileges comparable to those of his Greek subjects. All right. So Um, I'm gonna put it back. Hey, shalom to the brother on the comment board. You know, shalom to the brother on the comment board. That's right. That's the scripture right there. Okay, that you quoted from Daniel's the 8th chapter. And the let me see what you got. Before I get there, let me go back into Daniel's the 11th chapter. All right, because I don't want to jump too far in. Now reading back, it says. Let me get it over here. I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but Lord willing, bear with me. Daniel's 11 and 3, it says, and a mighty king shall stand up that shall rule with great dominion and do according to his will. Okay, so this is talking about Alexander the Great. And when he shall stand up, his kingdom shall be broken and shall be divided towards the four winds of heaven, and not to his posterity. nor according to his dominion which he ruled, for his kingdom shall be plucked up even for others beside those. Because who were the ones that took over Alexander's kingdom? It was Lysimachus, Cassander, Ptolemy, and Seleucus. Okay, and then the two men were the king of the north and the king of the south. All right, which let's go back into this brother video, because we going this go
So
the
his
brother gonna
ego
go more into
represents
it.
the Greek Empire, right? Mainly Alexander, all right? Watch this. I believe they tell you what it is right here. Right, there it is. A notable horn. Okay? Alexander the Great, the he goats. This is Esau, the Edomites, the Greek Empire. That notable horn is Alexander the Great. Why the hell would they be Israelites, man? Unlearned souls. You go into Daniel 7.
Right, and that's why the scriptures say. That's why the scriptures say, let's get it real fast. You have to study to show thyself approved. Okay, let's get that real silent. All right, you got to study, man. You got to get into these scriptures. All right, because like the elder brother said, those are unlearned souls, man. All right, because they're not going into the scriptures and rightfully dividing the words or breaking it down correctly. Okay, 2 Timothy 2:15, it says, "Study to show thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed." You see, not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Okay, now mind you, you know they're part of the Lord's program, because now we get to sharpen up our swords. We get to or we get to um remember the history that we went over, so that way we can, what I'm saying, have it fresh in our mind. So the Lord is allowing us to you know get this understanding if you don't got it, or to refreshing your thoughts back if you did go over it. Okay, uh um whenever you went over it. Okay, which is important, okay, because this is a part of our history. This is the seed line of the wicked right here, that conquered, that took over, and that Hellenized Jacob. Okay, when you go down more into the chapter of Daniel's 11th chapter in the Seleucid Empire, which we're gonna get in a minute.
It breaks down all the different empires that rule. And after we got conquered, that was the last time we ruled. You understand what I'm saying? When we got taken down, starting over the Assyrian captivity by the northern brothers and sisters, they got taken out of the land. And Judah, Benjamin, Levi was the only one left, and the Babylonians came in there and jacked us up. So you got the book of Daniel, so on and so forth, man. Book of Isaiah, book of Jeremiah, book of Ezekiel, that's doing the Babylonian captivities, man. Then it trickle all the way down to the different empires, so on and so forth. Okay? And it says, verse 6, and he came to the ram that had two horns, dealing with the power structure, the Persians and the Medes. But the Medes was on top first, right? So the Medes will be, break it down to you, would it be the Polynesians, the Tungans, the Hawaiians? Those are the modern-day Medes. The Persians is dealing with people of Iran, Afghanistan, that region, man. Okay? Those are the Persians, the East Indians. Okay?
Right. So the precept to that would be Daniel's the 7th chapter. What the brother just mentioned, it'll be Daniel's the 7th chapter. Okay. Dealing with, let's get it real fast. Daniel 7 and 5. All right. It says, and behold, another beast, a second like to a bear. Okay. This bear dealing with the Medio and Persian Empire. It says, and it raised up itself on one side, because remember, like the brother just mentioned, you had the Medes that were first, but when it raised up itself on one side, you had the Persians that became stronger. Okay, that wax stronger. Okay, and I read the precept in Isaiah 45:1. I'll read it again. Thus said the Lord to his anointed, to Cyrus, because when you look up who started it, it was Cyrus the Great. Okay, whose right hand I have holden to subdue nations before him, and I will loose the loins of kings to open before him the two lead gates, and the gates shall not be shut. Okay, so you had the Persians um wax greater, all right, which in turn led into the three kings in Daniel's, the beginning chapters of Daniel's, the 11th chapter, all right. You know, like I had mentioned, the Cambius, Darius, Pseudo Smerdis, and then you had the fourth, which waxed richer, which was Xerxes. Okay, um, so let's read some more. It says, and behold, another beast, a second like to the bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had three ribs in its mouth of it between the teeth. And they said, thus unto it, arise, devour much flesh. Okay, so precept going into what the brother was saying. All right, these are part of the dreams that Daniel was receiving.
And he came to the ram that had two horns, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power. So this is the battle. I think it's Galgama.
Let's see.
When you watch the movie on Netflix, it starts off with that. Not in the beginning, but the very first parts of that movie, man, started with this great battle. But Alexander knew. He went to the Josephus, he went to the Levite priests, and they prophesied of him being this great power structure. He was anointed. Mosai set him up to these great battles, man. Okay? It doesn't really say much here. All right. But anyways, that's the battle of Galgamon. And he came to the ram that had two horns, which he had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power. So that's that great battle that took place between Alexander the Great, his generals, against the Persians and the Medes. At the time, the Medes were the top force, power structure. Sorry, the Persians were the top power structure. I saw him come close unto the ram. He was moved with choler, meaning rage, against him because Yahweh Shema Shah was with him. You understand? And smote the ram, took down the Persian, the Medes, and brake his two horns. And there was no power in the ram to stand before him, but he cast him down to the ground and stamped upon him. There was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand. Therefore, the he goat, this Alexander, waxed very great. And when he was strong, the great horn was broken, where it came up four notable ones towards the four winds of heaven. Okay, so that's dealing with what? After he died, his four generals were given authority over his kingdom.
Right. Now, let's read in Daniel's 11th chapter, right? Let's read in Daniel's 11th chapter, the four generals, okay? Let's go to the 11th chapter, okay? So it says, and the king, it says, and when he shall stand up, his kingdom shall be broken and shall be divided towards the four winds of heaven, all right, which is this four generals, okay? And not to his posterity, nor according to his dominion, which he ruled, for his kingdom shall be plucked up, even for others beside those. Remember, he didn't have no children, okay? He didn't have no children, all right? He was a sodomite, okay? And the king of the south shall be strong, and one of his prince, and he shall be strong above him and have dominion, and his dominion shall be a great dominion. Now, who is the king of the south? Okay, the king of the south was Seleucid, okay? Because you had the king of the north and the king of the south, all right? And those are the two dynasties which are Edomites that were fighting against each other. Okay, which the one that was strong was the Seleucid Empire, because you got that wicked root that came out of it, which was Antiochus Epiphanes. Okay, now in my book right here, because it's a study Bible, it's a study Bible right here. In the study Bible, it goes into the Maccabean revolt. It goes into the Hasmonean dynasty, and it also speaks about the two main generals, which was Ptolemy and Seleucid. Okay. Now, before I keep reading on, let's read a little bit on Ptolemy. It says, following the death of Alexander, Judea was first subjected to Antagnius, one of his generals, but it quickly fell to another general, Ptolemy, Ptolemy surnamed Soter. All right, deliverer, who seized Jerusalem on a Sabbath day in 320 BC. Ptolemy, whose kingdom centered in Egypt. Okay, dealt kindly with the Jews, many of them settled in Alexandria, which continued to be important centers of Jewish thoughts for many centuries. Under Ptolemy II, Philadelphia's, the Alexandrian Jews translated their Old Testaments into Greek. The translation was later known as the Septuagint, from the legends of 70, more correctly 726, from each of the 12 tribes, which were sent from Judea to produce the Greek translation of the Hebrew scriptures, because you had the library, which is known as the Library of Alexandria. Okay, which um, contained, the Greek, the Hebrew. Okay, it contained many texts. All right, but this is, it's good to get a study Bible, because it goes into, you know um, uh, the history, and it's also too, you gotta, what the apostles teach us, and what they go into. You also got to be able to chew the meat and spit out the bones. Um, Let me keep reading on. Jumping down to the Jews in Palestine enjoyed a period of prosperity during Ptolemaic times. Tribute tax was paid to the government in Egypt, but local affairs were administered by high priests who had been responsible for governing their people since Persian times. Um, the greatest figure among the Jews of the Ptolemaic period was Simon the Just, the high priest, who is the subject of the highest praise in the apocryphal book of Ecclesiastes, which called him great among his brethren. The glory of his people, he is credited with building the wall of Jerusalem, which had been demolished by Ptolemy first, and is said to have repaired the temple and directed the evacuation of the great reservoir to provide fresh waters for Jerusalem in times of drought and siege. So these Edomites were putting hell on us. Okay, and mind you, they were fighting against themselves. Let's keep reading back in Daniel's 11, right? It says, "And the king of the south shall be strong, and one of his princes shall be strong above him, and have dominion. His dominion shall be great. And in the end of years, they shall join themselves together. For kings' daughters of the south shall come to the king of the north to make an agreement, but she shall not retain the power of the arm." Now remember, when they were fighting amongst themselves, the agreement that they had was to share a daughter, which the daughter name was Bernice. Bernice was the daughter. Okay, she was the daughter of Ptolemy the third, Ptolemy the second. Forgive me, Ptolemy the second. Okay, and you could look into Bernice, look into what transpired between them. Okay, and find out what that history is about right there. Okay, something to look into, right? So let's keep reading on. This is, "But she shall be given up, and they that brought her, and he that begat her, and he that strengthened her in these times. But out of a branch of her roots shall one stand up in his estate, which shall come with an army, and shall enter into the fortress of the king of the north, and shall deal against them, and shall prevail." All right. So the king of the south was the which was the Seleucid Empire. They end up coming up. They end up going in and taking over. All right, the king of the north, "and shall also carry captive into Egypt their gods, with their princes and with their precious vessels of silver and of gold, and he shall continue more years than the king of the north. So the king of the south shall come into his kingdom and shall return into his own land, but his son shall be stirred up and shall assemble a multitude of great forces, and one shall certainly come and overflow and pass through. Then shall he return and be stirred up even to his fortress, and the king of the south shall be moved with choler and shall forth and fight with him, even with the king of the north, and he shall set forth a great multitude, but the multitude shall be given into his hands. And when he hath taken away the multitude, his heart shall be lifted up, and he shall cast down many 10,000, but he shall not be strengthened by it. And the king of the north shall return and shall set forth multitudes greater than the former, and shall certify and come after certain years with a great army and with much riches. And in the times that there shall stand up against the king of the south, also the robbers of thy people shall exalt themselves to establish the vision, but they shall fall. So the king of the north shall come and cast up a mount and take the most fenced cities, and the arms of the south shall not withstand, neither his chosen people, because when he failed going up against the Ptolemy dynasty, right? He ended up taking his anger out on us, on the Israelites. He ended up taking the anger out on us. That's what we talk about the chosen people. Neither shall there be any strength to withstand, but it shall. But he that come against him shall do according to his own will, and none shall stand before him, and he shall stand in the glorious land which is by the hand shall be consumed. Okay, because he came and ransacked the hell out of us. All right. Let me see. I believe it's in here. Because it spoke about the battle of Egypt, the Seleucid Empire, right? When you read into the Syrian ruler are termed Seleucid because of their kingdom. One of the successor states to Alexander's empire was founded by Seleucus first, Nicator. Most of the early rulers bore the names of Seleucus of Antiochus, and they ruled from Antioch on the Orontes River. Then energetic ruler Antiochus III, surnamed the Great, waged a series of battles with Egypt until in 199 BC, he wrestled Palestine from the Ptolemies after the Battle of Penan near the source of the Jordan River. This marked the beginning of a new era of Jewish history. For while the Ptolemies had been tolerant of Jewish institutions, the Seleucids determined to enforce Hellenism on the Jews, okay, because of the Seleucid Empire, all right? So after the Seleucid Empire took over, this is when we start being corrupt. We start being Greeks, which that's when you go into the book of the Maccabees, right? You go into the book of the Maccabees. Um, let me see. Let me keep reading before I get there because it's going to mention Antiochus Epiphanes, which is that wicked wicked root. Let me see. Let me jump down straight to the point because I done went way over time. Let me jump down. Right here. Here it is. It says, verse 18, after this shall he turn his face unto the isles and shall take many, but a prince for his own behalf shall cause the reproach offered by him to cease without his own reproach. He shall cause it to turn upon him. Then he shall turn his face towards the fort of his own land, but he shall stumble and fall and not be found. Then shall stand up in his estate a raiser of taxes in the glory of the kingdom, but within a few days he shall be destroyed, neither in anger nor in battle. And in his estate shall stand up a vile person, to whom they shall not give the honor of the kingdom, but he shall come in peaceably and obtain the kingdom by flattery. Remember, to not give honor in the kingdom, we weren't going to be able to worship our high holy days. And it was under a decree, anybody that was worshiping our laws will be put to death, executed. Okay, let me get that real fast. This is First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 10. It says, and there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been and hostage at Rome, and he reigned in 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. And those days went throughout of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, Let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward herein, and they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen, okay, which they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen, which is actually found in this book right here. Because those customs of the heathens, they were building, Jake was building what you call today gyms. Let me see. They were building what you call gyms, all right, which is gymnos in the Greek. Let me see if I can find it. I should have highlighted it earlier when I was reading it. Um, let me see. If I can't find it, it's all good. You just gotta look into it, you know. But that was the place. That's oh here. Yep, here it is right here. It says Jason. It says Jason succeeded in having himself appointed high priest, although Antiochus looked upon the high priesthood as a political office which had a right to fill as he pleased. Pious Jews thought of the priesthood as divine in origin and considered its sale to the highest bidder a sin against the Most High. Jason encouraged the Hellenists who had sought his election. A gymnasium was built in Jerusalem. Greek names became commonplace, and Hebrew orthodoxy was considered obscurate and obsolete. You see, it was considered obscure and obsolete. Going into what the scriptures say. Okay, let me read that part again. It says, whereupon I'm sorry, verse 13. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen, whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the custom of the heathens, and made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief. Okay, so I see these weren't Israelites that changed our people into following, all right, these heathenistic ways. Okay, these were Edomites, man. Okay, when you go into the history and you actually read, all right, because if these were Jake's, why weren't Jake following the law, statute, commandments, man? Okay, why were they making them follow heathen ways if they were Jake's? Doesn't make sense. Show you that these were heathens, these were Edomites, okay, that Hellenized the hell out of Jake, and then you had Jake that was wicked priesthood that were actually telling the people to follow the ways of the heathen, okay. You know, same thing that they do today, you know, because we dealing with history all over again, all right, and we in the rebirth of the Roman Empire all over again. All right, we in the rebirth of the Roman Empire. All right, because hey, you know, this is the time of the Greco-Roman Empire right here, man. You know, which were Edomites, man. They were Edomites. Okay. Now reading on in this book, it says, yet Jason urged with his close companions and fellow Hellenists, Menelaus of the tribe of Benjamin, who offered higher tribute to Antiochus than that paid by Jason, and had himself installed as a high priest. The Orthodox Jews, who had been scandalized when Jason was named high priest, were more deeply disturbed when Menelaus, a Benjamite with no claim to priestly office, was installed. Jason raised an army to back his claim to the high priesthood, and Menelaus courted the favor of Antiochus. The Syrians, who were campaigns against Egypt, felt it essential to maintain effective control over Palestine. Antiochus staged a sneak attack on Jerusalem on the Sabbath day, when Orthodox Jews would not fight, and slaughtered a large number of the enemies of Menelaus. The city walls were destroyed, and a new fortress, the Acra, was built on the site of the citadel. Okay, so you know, um, let me keep reading. It says Antiochus was determined to remove all traces of Orthodox Jewish faith. Israel's God was identified with Jupiter. Okay, so they changed the Most High into a Greek god. Okay, Jupiter. That's where you get Jupiter from. All right, they changed the Most High into a Greek god, and a bearded image of a pagan deity, perhaps in a likeness of Antiochus, was erected in the temple altar where swine were offered in sacrifice. Jews were forbidden under penalty of death to practice circumcision, Sabbath day observance of their celebrations, and the feast of the Jewish calendars. Copies of the scriptures were ordered destroyed. The law were enforced with the uttermost cruelty, and oh, it's going to get into Eleazar, which you read about Eleazar. He was a righteous man, okay, because they were trying to use Eleazar to actually convince the people to eat swine. All right, and they were trying to make him act like he ate it, and he didn't want to do that. Okay, he'd rather die with his dignity. Okay, you know. But I just want to show that because this is part of the history. But if you go into the history, and you actually read into it. These are all Edomites. And then when you actually go deeper, even Herod, um, Herod is Alexander's basically great grandpops, okay, which was another Edomite that wanted to do away with the Lord, okay. So you can pretty much go into the history. You know what I mean? I didn't mean for it to go this long. I was trying to make it as simple as possible, but I ended up making it longer than expected. So I hope that it's edifying. That it was edifying to those that tuned in. But that's a part of the history that we got right there. All right. I don't know what them dudes was talking about, but you know, um, those are Edomites, okay? They're not Jakes, all right? And you can find this information online, or you can get you an actual study Bible, and you got Edomite scholars that actually break down the history for you, okay? That would tell you that these were Edomites themselves, okay? Like the brother Dave said, he did a simple Google. Let's play a little bit more of the brother video, and then we can close out.
Right? And out of one of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceeding great towards the south, towards the east, and towards the pleasant land. This is dealing with the Seleucid Empire, Antiochus the fourth.
Which another point I want to make. That's why a lot of these so-called scholars, they don't want to even go into or these individuals, they don't want to go into the Apocrypha because it goes into names like King Philip, Alexander's pops. You look up the history, and you gonna find out, okay, the facts, the truth. The Apocrypha actually gives names, so that way you can search certain names up to go into the timelines of these individuals and find out the history on them.
Epiphanes. And this is where the pleasant land is dealing with our land, the land of Israel, and the three main tribes that was dwelling there, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. This is how our people got Hellenized, became Greeks, Hellenistas. They got their customs and all, and that leads into what? The New Testament, mainly dealing with Apostle Peter, Apostle Paul, various other apostles are dealing with our people that was in a Gentile state of mind, who got Hellenized. Okay? The Ptolemies and the Antiochus the fourth Epiphanes, man. And they waxed great, even the hosts of heaven, and they cast down some of the hosts and the stars to the ground and stamped upon them, dealing with Israel. Yet he magnified himself even to the prince of the hosts, and by him the daily sacrifice was taken away, and the place of his sanctuary was cast down. So this is Antiochus the fourth Epiphanes. But yeah,
So as you can see, they Hellenized us, like the brother mentioned, which goes into the New Testament. Why you had The first, the Apostle Peter, that had to go to the Gentiles first, okay, which were Israelite foreigners, all right, that were Hellenized, okay, and then you have Paul that took over his steed, okay, which was to go to the Gentiles and to convert them back into their true way of into our true way of worship, all right. When you go into the Gentiles, all right, the New Testament, you know. So um, I pray that this was edifying, something that I just wanted to go into real fast, but I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bashim Abishai, double honors to our apostles, elders, of great millstone. We're truly blessed that we got, leaders that are, tell us to study and to, go into the scriptures and, you know, um, look into the history so that way we could get a proper understanding, all right? Because if we didn't have good leaders, we'd be speaking perverse things, okay? You know, we'd be leading the sheep the wrong way, okay? And we know who the wicked is, okay? As the scriptures say, and he shall be revealed in the last days, okay? Matter of fact, Thessalonians, let's get that real fast. Thessalonians, he shall be revealed in the last days, because they saying that we're gonna find out later when he's revealed. That's bull crap, man. Okay. Right here, Second Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3, it says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there become a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. So we know who the son of perdition is, the man of sin, okay? Who opposeth and exalts himself above all that is called the Most High, that is worshipped, so that he is as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. Why? Because right now Esau is exalted, okay? Esau is sitting in his power seat. Esau is sitting upon the people of the Most High. All right, he has the Israelites in captivity. Okay, it's not going to. This has been revealed unto us. All right, it wasn't revealed in the Roman Empire. Okay, when Paul wrote this, but it's been revealed unto us in these times that we live in. Okay, that who the one that is exalting himself. Okay, Obadiah. Read the book of Obadiah. He is lifted up through his pride. Okay, and pretty soon Yahweh Shai is about to bring down, okay, this man real soon. Okay, let's read on. It says, remembering ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and know ye, and now you know that what will holdeth that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out the way. And we're living in a time where Esau is about to be taken out the way. Okay. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. Right now, Esau is being consumed with the spirit of the Lord's mouth. That's why hence encased the prophets. Okay. And shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, even him with lying words, after the workings of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. Okay. So we know who the devil is. Okay. And Yahweh Shai is bringing this man down first through the mouth of his prophets, and Yahweh Shai is about to be sent back real soon to bring them down on a physical level, okay, with the innumerable hosts, okay. And that's when Esau's gonna go down and his candle's gonna be put out forever. So with that, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh by Shai, Shai, double honors to our apostles and elders of great millstone, and peace, mercy, and blessings to the sincere elect. And with that, I want to say shalom.